Friday forecast time. Huskers back home to take on Northwestern. Sean, let's first recap Purdue. What a finish for Tanner Lee, and what a turnaround for him as a quarterback.
Yeah, you know, Tanner Lee, you think about a month ago or more in this stadium, he was booed by the fan base, and it was a real low point, a turning point where it could have gone one of two ways. Patrick O'Brien could be the quarterback right now, or Tanner Lee was going to have to rise up. And he rose up, and he's thrown one interception since being booed in the stadium. And, you know, the highlight of it obviously was last Saturday. I mean, you think about it, he ran, was it 8 plays with 1:20 on the clock in a no huddle, no timeout situation to lead Nebraska to a victory, 50 passing attempts. He put the program on his shoulders, and that's what I think we expected to see.
Completed 7 of 8 on that final drive for 70 yards and the touchdown. Stanley Morgan Jr. Now, Husker fan says, man, that worked really well. Why don't they do that up-tempo stuff all the time?
Yeah, I asked Mike Riley that this week, and, you know, because it looked good.
Looks simple, right?
And,
yeah.
You know, I think people are so used to scheming Nebraska one way and kind of watching personnel, how they sub, that it would be a nice curveball if Mike Riley had that in his pocket for a few of these games, and he said they have talked about that, they have discussed that. Now, was that coach speak to get other coaches thinking more about it, or could we see more of that? Because you know the challenge this week, Northwestern's going to have a very, very physical run defense. Nobody's run the ball on these guys, so I think Nebraska has to do some creative things to try something different.
And they'll have to be creative on the offensive line because they got some bad news on the injury front. Nebraska did.
Yeah, Nebraska loses Tanner Farmer for several weeks, potentially the season, Michael Decker as well. So that really puts a big hole on this line. 2 guys that have played well, especially in the run game. Michael Decker has been a real lift to this team when he was in there, and I think you saw the drop-off when he went out, what he's meant the last few weeks. So now Cole Conrad gets his opportunity back, and he's been in a tough spot mentally because he lost his job, and now he'll get his chance back to prove it again. And Matt Farniak, a guy they really like for the future, you know, will get an opportunity to be the guy now at right guard.
Defensively, the Blackshirts have a big challenge. Clayton Thorson back. He's back again. And then Justin Jackson, obviously the go-to guy in terms of running the ball for the Wildcats.
Clayton Thorson's on that 7-year Andy Kendi college plan.
More like 8, yes.
I mean, I feel like he has been the quarterback at Northwestern for a long time. And Justin Jackson, seemingly because he got a medical year back as well. I mean, he's been here for a long time when you think about these 2 players and what they've meant. And, you know, Northwestern has not really lit the scoreboard apart with points and yards. They kind of just do what they do. They win ugly when they win, and they have won ugly the last few weeks against Northwestern, against Iowa, against Maryland. After starting out with Wisconsin and Penn State losses, they are now 3-2, and this game kind of takes on a life of a potential second-place game for the Big Ten West.
It should be interesting to see because 5 of the 6 meetings have been won by the road team in this series. We'll see what happens Saturday. 2:30 kick. It's Nebraska and Northwestern on the Big Ten Network.